Welcome, Roomers and Zoomers, to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Ulysses Ayton, and I'm your worship associate today. I'm joined by Beth Syverson, our Director of Music Ministries, in welcoming you this morning. Karen Magoon Pearson, our Director of Religious Education, is holding classes for our children and youth at Extensia Park this summer. Our minister, Reverend Sean Wilshire, is not in the pulpit today, but she has a special message for you.
Hello, Roomers and Zoomers. So I'm away this week, but my spirit is with you. For those of you who are new to the church, maybe you're just checking us out or curious about Unitarian Universalism, welcome. Glad you're here. You are in for a treat. This is a wonderful, friendly, fabulous, just all-around spectacular community. I hope you can get to know them, because it can be kind of tough to get to know a new community. But here's the thing, just hang in there, join in one of the activities, and before long, you'll get to know people, and then this becomes your church. Well, today we've planned a wonderful service for you, just blending music and word to bring together a helpful and hope-filled message. We hope it will feed your soul. So without further ado, let's go.
This morning, we are delighted to have Reverend Rica Kaufel. She was born and raised in Germany, graduated from Midville Lombard Theological School, and completed her internship here at OCUUC last June of 2020. And we were also the congregation that ordained her in January of 2021. She is the part-time minister at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Anaheim, and she also works as a lecturer at UCI for Academic English Department. Recently, she also started consulting for the German Unitarian. Her favorite thing in the world is spending time with her daughter, Elise. Welcome back, Reverend Rica. We also would like to recognize the many volunteers that have helped to put this service together today. You can see their names are on the screen. We respectfully recognize that our church property rests on Ahajiment and Tongva land. As Unitarian Universalists, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together not by a common set of rules or beliefs, but rather a covenant. A covenant is simply a promise that whatever our beliefs, we accept one another and encourage each other in our spiritual growth. We affirm that all life has inherent value and that all existence is interconnected. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and relationships, and we are committed to creating a welcoming community without regard to the traits that sometimes divide people. To our roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. For our Zoomers, we invite you to say hello in the chat. I'd like to remind that roomers not to sing along with our music leader, even if you can see the lyrics on the screen. Roomers can instead sway along with the music. Zoomers can sing to their heart's content. We will let you know in the future when we can all sing together again during the service. If any of our roomers would like to share a joy or sorrow, please fill out the slip that we handed to you and place it in one of the baskets, sometimes between now and joy and sorrow. If you prefer not to offer any details, you can simply write your name. During the offertory music selections, the ushers will be picking up the joys and sorrow slips from the basket. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you are seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you will find it here. Later in the service, we will have an opportunity for you to introduce yourself if you'd like to do so. After the service, we will be placing the Zoomers who remain into Zoom out breakout rooms for 20 minutes or so of coffee and conversation. Everyone is welcome to participate, and it's a great way to get to know people in the congregation. Let our service begin with the lighting of our chalice as we say our unison affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love,
and to help one another. This we affirm together.
Please join in singing or swaying together to our opening song.
Wash me away, so that all that's left is love. Great Spirit, wash me away, so that all that's left is love. Great Spirit, wash me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. So that all that's left is love. Great Spirit, wash me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. So that all that's left is love. Great Spirit, wash me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. So that all that's left is love. Great Spirit, wash me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. So that all that's left is love. Great Spirit, there is so much magnificence in the ocean. All that's left, waves are coming in, waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence in the ocean. All that's left, waves are coming in, waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence in the ocean. All that's left, waves are coming in, waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence in the ocean. All that's left, waves are coming in, waves are coming in. Wash me away, so that all that's left is love.
Welcome, everyone, on the second Sunday in August, when we are in the middle of summer, which brings with it picnics and pool parties, stone fruit and sunflowers. Last Sunday was Lunasa, the Gaelic festival marking the beginning of the harvest season that falls on the day between summer solstice and fall equinox, right in the middle. The yearly spiral of life and loss, of endings and beginnings, is a reliable one. So much more reliable than the spirals of our hearts and minds. Our own rhythms of loss, of resting, of beginning again, of grieving the world and getting ready to build it up yet again are less predictable and often get lost in the hustle and bustle of daily lives, in the expectations and responsibilities we encounter or set for ourselves. So today, Let's make room for them. To do so, I will loosely follow the format of Joanna Macy's work that reconnects, which unfolds as a spiral journey through four stages. Coming from gratitude because it grounds us, it roots us. Honoring our pain for the world and daring to experience it so we learn the true meaning of compassion. Seeing with new or ancient eyes makes us aware of our interconnectedness with each other and the world around us. And then we go forth into the actions that call each of us according to our own situations, gifts, and limitations. Each of these stages leads naturally to the next. The journey helps us experience firsthand that we are larger, stronger, and more creative, and more deeply interconnected than we ever imagined. Today, we will go on this journey together. This service, both more reflective and more interactive than what we usually have, will therefore follow a different format. Most importantly, we moved the joys and concerns to an earlier spot in the service, right in the middle of this journey we are going on. So if you have a slip to fill out for the joys and sorrows and you don't want to be surprised by that, make sure you fill it out really early. There will also be interactive parts where you can talk with each other. The Zoomers will be put into breakout rooms and the roomers can turn to a neighbor. That means that we'll put much more airflow into this room than we usually do during a service. So it's especially important that you keep your masks on, covering both mouth and nose to ensure everyone's bodily safety and peace of mind. One other thing, there will be a prolonged meditation, about 3 minutes, much longer than what we usually do. For those of you who are joining us on Zoom, or who have pen and paper ready, you can also journal instead if you prefer that. And with all that said, let me once again welcome you into this sacred space of community. Let us go onto this spiral journey together, build community together, be in worship together. Welcome. Last April, after over a year of school at home, my then 10-year-old daughter, Elise, was finally able to go back to school. It was just for 2.5 hours per day, which made my day significantly more hectic. But after being barely around other kids for so long, it meant the world to her. And then, just 1 week into in-person instruction, spring break started. Great timing. And while she was really, really happy to have a break, she was also really disappointed to be yet again stuck at home. But what do you do on a socially distant spring break? Well, one morning I packed her into the car and we had a little road trip. We went to La Jolla, this wonderful seaside neighborhood in San Diego. As we went strolling along the cove, enjoying the ocean, bright blue skies, and a generous scoop of gelato, we came across sea lions. So many sea lions resting on the rocks, soaking up the sun, and every once in a while teasing each other and breaking out into their characteristic barks. And I brought the video for you. So
There's a bully.
kept on watching them for what must have been at least an hour, mesmerized, filled with giggles and hearts bursting with happiness. It was glorious. In fact, I don't even know the last time I was this happy, this carefree. It wasn't just the sea lions. It was also being outside on this beautiful beach, crisp blue skies and waves crashing gently on the rocks, spring flowers blooming, little bright green baby leaves sprouting on tree branches, a breeze ruffling our hair and carrying the sounds of our giggles, blending them with the barks of the sea lions, and above us, pelicans flying by on this blessing of a day. But of course, it was also the sea lions. They were a true gift to us after a long, hard year, a blessing to our hearts. Nature grounds us. Nature sustains us. And I've always kind of known this, but after this pandemic, after being stuck inside and isolated, the disruption of our lives and routine, the loss of loved ones, I know this on a whole different level than before. The moments I got to spend outside in nature, be it La Jolla or a national park or just some tiny little park in Long Beach that opened up again, were truly my saving grace during this last year. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has experiences like that. So we will now take 4 minutes where roomers can turn to their neighbors and Zoomers will be put into breakout rooms, and you can talk through the 60-second countdown, Zoomers. We'll wait for you. I would like you to share times that you have spent in nature, be it in a forest, a park, or even just on your balcony or the little green strip on the sidewalk, when you have felt grounded and grateful, when nature has been a gift to you. You can talk about experiences, favorite places, whatever comes to your mind. Okay, go. Thank you so much. I can only imagine all the joy that was shared right now. I heard it a little bit in the animated voices and the occasional laughter and giggle. What a gift, what a blessing nature can be to us. Like my day with the sea lions, I was so happy. And yet, as I reflected on the day later that evening, my joy turned bittersweet, because as much as these sea lions were my blessing, a blessing to me, I wish I could be a blessing to them in return. And I'm not sure I am. Of course, I don't mean that I expect the sea lions to take the same delight in seeing me as I did in seeing them. But what I do mean is that I fear that we live in an antagonistic relationship with most of the animals of this world, except maybe our pets. If we look around, if we look at the impact we have on them, the way they're impacted by plastics in the oceans, wildfires caused by climate change, caused by human actions, decreasing habitats, factory farming, insecticides, overfishing, and ongoing mass extinction, it is hard to fathom our presence as a blessing to animals or the natural world at large. If anything, our presence might be more of a curse. Even in my day, in my going on this trip to see the sea lions, I added to my carbon footprint. We did not take the train, we took the car. And it seems that in my daily decisions of how to get to places, what to buy, how to live my life, I'm simply weighing what does the least harm, if that. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed not only by the ongoing destruction of our world, but by the part I play in it, whether I want to or not. I'm so scared for the future of my daughter and her generation. What will their lives look like? But I'm also increasingly scared for us, for our lives. The floods, the recent floods in Germany hit scaringly close to my old home. And the increasingly destructive fire seasons affect us here every year, and sometimes directly. I grieve not only the people, but also the places we have lost, like the town of Greenville, which was all but destroyed in the Dixie Fire. And in addition, I also know that the lives of the most marginalized among us are impacted the most by climate change and environmental pollution. And I feel such deep despair. I wonder how many of us feel the same way. How many of us feel like our relationship with nature, with animals, not our pets, and not on a hike through a beautiful forest, but the way plants and animals and minerals sustain our day-to-day lives, the food we eat, the resources we use to sustain our increasingly industrialized existence, is far from a blessing to the world and the creatures that provide this very sustenance. And how many of us are filled with deep grief and despair because of it? And how hard we try to push that away and not to feel it. But right now, I invite you to take a few moments and allow for the grief to enter. Allow for the despair and the overwhelm. You can journal, write down your thoughts, or you can just sit silently to allow yourself to feel the feelings that come up for you in the face of the ongoing destruction for our world. And we'll sit together for about 3 minutes so that we can really ground ourselves and go to that place. So take your time with it. invite you now to come back into community, but stay in a meditative position. As you feel the grief, the despair reverberate through your body, I ask that you try to locate it. Where in your body can you feel it? Is it a tightness in your shoulders, a pain in your chest, or maybe a lump in your throat? If you can locate this feeling of grief, of heaviness, or of tightness, I invite you to very gently place your hand there and feel the warmth and the comfort of touch. I invite you to direct your breath there. Gently breathe into the part of your body that is tight or that hurts, and just sit with the feeling. This is a poem by Mark Nepo entitled Adrift. Everything is beautiful, and I am so sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light spraying through the lace of the fern is as delicate as the fibers of memory forming their web around the knot in my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch, as this ache makes me look for those I've lost in the next room, in the next song, in the laugh of this next stranger. In the very center, under it all, what we have that no one can take away, and all that we have lost face each other. It is there that I'm adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists inside everything. I am so sad, and everything is beautiful. There's a holiness in everything, our love and our grief. Our love for this world and our grief are intertwined. If we did not love this world so fiercely, we would not grieve its destruction so immensely. If we follow our anger, our despair, and our overwhelm back to its source, what we find is love. Find that feeling in you, the heaviness, the tightness, and see if it can be softened by love. In this time between love and grief, let us also build our community by sharing with each other the important events in our lives. All of you are invited, whether a member, a friend, or a visitor, whether you are a roomer or a Zoomer, to participate in our weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. I would like to invite Judith Stamper here, one of our pastoral care team members, to join me. She will be lighting a candle for you, and maybe also a communal candle for all of us. If you're a roomer and you haven't, I would ask you to now place your joy and sorrow in the basket that will come around. An usher will pick it up for you in a moment. And if you're a Zoomer, you can write your joy or sorrow in the chat. Let us take a few more moments in a spirit of silence as Beth plays some music and the ushers retrieve the baskets. We have some joys to share today. Sarah Hunter drove for the first time today since her hip replacement. And she said, I know. She says, thank you to my husband and friends who helped me. And Beth Syverson and Jen Maybe say, are so grateful for their son Joey, who is on a path to recovery after 3 years in addiction to substances. All three are making a podcast to help each other, to help other struggling teens. I'm very excited for this podcast. And from our Zoomers, Karen Anderson has a sorrow to share. She says she has a problematic renter who makes things unsafe and difficult for her. She says, I'm fearful that they will not leave. Unfortunately, I may need to hire an attorney. Marcia Hackett says, I completed 5 days of jury service in criminal court this past week. It was a great experience in democracy at work. Lori Kluge says, lights a candle of hope for her friends Susan and Cliff. Laura Gethard Beach says, my stepfather has passed away. He was 94 years old and had been in my life since I was 10 years old. And Sharon says, ask us to light a candle for the life of her dear friend Marion Solovey that ended this week. As we hold each other's joys and sorrows, let's sing or sway to this pastoral song together.
Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, and hold. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby, and hold. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby, and hold. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby, and hold. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, this pain. Loosen, loosen, baby, and hold. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, this pain. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
Is a biology professor, and she's also a citizen of the Potawatomi Nation. In braiding sweetgrass, which I believe many of you are familiar with, She combines the learnings of Western science and indigenous American traditions, and the result is truly inspirational. This is an excerpt from her chapter, The Gift of Strawberries. It's funny how the nature of an object, let's say a strawberry or a pair of socks, is so changed by the way it has come into our hands as a gift or a commodity. The pair of wool socks that I buy at the store, red and gray striped, are warm and cozy. I may feel grateful for the sheep that made the wool or the worker who ran the knitting machine. I hope so. But I have no inherent obligation to those socks as a commodity or as private property. There is no bond beyond the politely exchanged thank yous with the clerk. I have paid for them, and our reciprocity ended the minute I handed her the money. The exchange ends once parity has been established, an equal exchange. They become my property. I don't write a thank you note to JCPenney. But what if those very same socks, red and gray striped, were knitted by my grandmother and given to me as a gift? That changes everything. A gift creates an ongoing relationship. I will write a thank you note. I will take good care of them, and if I'm a very gracious grandchild, I'll wear them when she visits, even if I don't like them. When it's her birthday, I will make sure I give her a gift in return. As the scholar and writer Lewis Hyde notes, it is the cardinal difference between gift and commodity exchange that establishes a feeling bond between two people. So, in our economy, which is centered around private property, we commodify the world around us, parceling it off into products that can be sold and purchased, each purchase bringing with it a set of rights: the right to grow a tree or cut it down, the right to eat the egg or the chicken. If I paid for it, I don't owe anyone anything. Yet Dr. Robin Wall Kimmerer points out that many indigenous cultures in the Americas instead operate under the notion of a gift economy. The world around us is a gift. And while it is given to us, it is not given freely, but instead it comes with responsibilities aimed at relationship and reciprocity. So the whole point is that we owe each other our lives, our well-being, our mutual survival. In recalling her experiences picking wild strawberries as a child, Robin Kimmerer puts it like this: our relationship with strawberries is transformed by our choice of perspective. It is human perception that makes the world a gift. When we view the world this way, strawberries and humans alike are transformed. The relationship of gratitude and reciprocity thus developed can increase the evolutionary fitness of both plant and animal. A species and a culture that treat the natural world with respect and reciprocity will surely base on genes that to ensuing generations with a higher frequency than the people who destroy it. Moreover, seeing the world as a gift does not simply extend to the parts that directly benefit us, the food we eat, the resources we use for energy and building materials, the land we are on, but it extends to everything that is around us. Everything is a gift. There is beauty and blessing everywhere. In her essay, Animal, Vegetable, Mineral, the poet and artist Carol Lee, who is of Laguna Pueblo and Lebanese descent, makes a similar point when she says that The most fundamental meaning of the word sacred for Native Americans is entitled to reverence and respect, not to be profaned, inviolable. Native Americans believe the universe and everything in it is entitled to reverence and respect because it exists. And therefore, the sacred can be found in the most mundane things, in everything that exists. Everything is sacred. Everything is beautiful. Everything is a gift that calls us into a deeper relationship. We are not disconnected from nature. We are part of nature. Our survival is linked to nature's survival. So our sustaining nature is us sustaining ourselves. We don't own anything, but we owe everything, and that is a beautiful way to be. So maybe what we need to do is transform our relationship to nature from one of ownership, destruction, guilt, and despair to one of gratitude, belonging, and mutual responsibility. And maybe with that, we can step into new commitments and reevaluate some of our struggles. So I'm going to put you back once more into small groups with the question, what are the different ways that we can recommit ourselves to the world if we start not from a place of guilt, but from a place of gratitude? What are the specific struggles that you see in your life in terms of how you try to sustain the world? And what are the specific commitments that you can make and follow through with? If the world is our gift, what are the ways that you can honor your responsibilities? So once again, turn to your neighbors or go into a breakout room and we'll take 4 minutes again. I hope that you can keep these conversations going, maybe during coffee hour today. So just because I'm cutting you off right now, just postpone it. You can talk outside. But thank you so much for participating. I'm going to bring the shared journey that we were on to an end with another quote by Carol Lee Sanchez. She says, focusing on destructive forces all the time causes feelings of despair and too often a sense of powerlessness to do anything to change these dreadful circumstances. When we seek the beauty and wonder of creation, creation responds by bringing more beauty and wonder for us to be glad about and thankful for. Let it be so, and blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Rica. Zoomers, please join us in singing our returning song for the Earth Forever Turning. Roomers, I invite you to stand in rise in body and spirit and sway along as we sing this beautiful song. Sing we our joyful song.
Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing half of the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month, we are supporting California Cultural Resources Preservation Alliance. CCRPA is an alliance of Native Americans, anthropologists, historians, scientists, and their mission is to protect and preserve cultural resources such as sacred sites, archaeological sites, historical sites, and traditional cultural places in Southern California. There are multiple ways in which you can support the church and this organization. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, use an app called Give Plus, or if you are a roomer, you can place your offering in a basket as you leave the service today. The choice is yours. All the information is on our website should you need it. As always, thank you for your generosity.
We want so badly to invite you to sing along, but please don't. You can sway, fully encouraged. On a sleepy, endless ocean, when the world lay in a dream, there was rhythm in the splash and roll, but not a voice to sing. Till the moon shone on the breakers, and the morning warmed the waves, and a single cell did jump and hum for joy, as though to say, this is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then the day showed bright and rounder, till the one turned into two, and the 2 and 2, 10,000 things, and old things into new. And on some virgin beachhead, one lonesome critter crawled, and he looked about, and he shouted out in his most astonished drawl, this is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then all the sky was humming, and the ground was carpet green, and the wary children of the woods went dancing in between, and the people sang rejoicing when the fields were glad with rain, this song of celebration from their cities on the plain. This is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Now there's smoke across the harbor, and there's factories on the shore, and the world is ill with greed and will and enterprise of war. But I will lay my burdens in the cradle of your grace, and the shining beaches of your love, the sea of your embrace. This is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Oh, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden.
And now we have a special treat for our gratitude song, We Gather Together. We're gonna have the whole band playing, but you still can't sing in the room. Sorry. Zoomers sing, Roomers sway. Gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say together, we extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. This we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are a congregation made of people who all believe differently. And yet, when we gather together, whether we are in a room or on Zoom, we make up one loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. If you are a guest, a visitor, or someone who hasn't yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. We encourage you to either write in the chat or stand for a brief moment and tell us your name and where you are from. If you are here in Daniels Hall, we will bring a microphone over and hold it for you. Please speak toward the microphone so that our Zoomers can hear your name and where you are from.
Good morning. Hello, my name's Adriana. I was on Zoom last week. It's my first week here. I came from Arizona.
Welcome.
Hello. Oh, gotcha. All right. Hi, I'm Ethan Richmeyer. I'm a local here in Orange County from the city of Orange.
Welcome. Welcome.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Jodelle Soletz from Garden Grove, my first time here. I'm really glad I came, thank you.
Welcome. If you would like to know more about our church, including programming for our youth and children, please contact us at hello@ocuuc.org, and we will help you get connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at blast@ocuuc.org. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community, so please reach out and we will help you get connected. After the service, we will have a short period where everyone, roomers and Zoomers alike, can wave and say hello and welcome any visitors. The Zoomers will be placed in Zoom breakout rooms for 20 minutes. We invite you to check in and get to know the people in your group. And now for some announcements. Today we have an RE swim party at 12:30 p.m. off-site. And please save the date. On Saturday, August 21st at 4 p.m., we have an all-church picnic party at Estancia Park. And now our congregation nurse, Marilyn Giss, have some special announcement for us.
This is kind of referring to healthy boundaries and COVID-19. In January 2020, the Committee on Ministry and Reverend Sean Wilter introduced the recently approved Healthy Boundaries policy to the congregation. Its introduction includes the following. We have carefully and intentionally put into place policies and procedures to protect staff, children, youth, vulnerable adults, and all members and friends of OCUUC. And if we are to be a caring community, we must ensure that everyone who comes here feels valued, safe, and secure. Little did we know that in less than 6 months, the world would be faced with a virus that would radically emphasize the importance of healthy boundaries. As Unitarian Universalists, the living tradition we share draws from many sources, including humanist teachings, which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and results of science. With that in mind, OCUUC has utilized information from the Centers for Disease Control, State of California rules, and Orange County Public Health guidelines in formulating its policies for church gatherings over the past 18 months. The goal was to keep our congregation healthy and safe while vaccinations were being tested and distributed. We now know that our planning and implementation of those policies has been successful. As challenging as the start of the pandemic was, some predicted that re-emerging from it was going to be a trickier path to navigate. While vaccinated, people may feel freer to remove masks, gather in groups, and return to normal activities. We need to remember that children 12 and younger are not yet vaccinated, and the situation is ever changing because of virus variants. Furthermore, we all have different comfort levels of interaction, which leads us back to our healthy boundaries policy. Keeping a healthy boundary is when you respect the values, beliefs, and opinions and limits of another. This is true at all times, but we feel compelled to emphasize it at this moment in a time when there is still life-threatening virus out there. In your interactions with others, be observant and mindful. If you wish to come into a person's space by getting close or touching, please ask their permission. This will be a new learning for many of us, so it will take consciousness, but we can do this, and we must keep our community safe. And this is from the Committee on Ministry. I want to add that as your faith community nurse, I also ask you to consider wearing your mask when outside after the service in the courtyard or anywhere in a public gathering where you will be conversing in close proximity with others for an extended period of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marilyn and Committee on Ministry. Thank you. The world is our gift, and sustaining it is our prerogative. No matter how big the challenges we face, or how weak or frightened we may feel, we each have gifts that can make a difference in the world, and we each have each other. We have people past and present, known and unknown, who will love us through these challenges. In this coming week, may you do at least one thing to support the broken, to celebrate beauty, to do the work of justice and love, to build up the world. Be strong, reconnect, and each day, according to your gifts, act, so we may all be a little bit more whole. May it be so, and blessed be.
And please sing or sway with us. Be safe, be well, you mean the world to me. Be safe, be well, you mean the world. One more time. Be safe, be well, you mean the world to me. Be safe, be well, you mean the world to me. this service is over, let our service continue.